Hello and welcome, past and present snobs. This is Science Fiction Snob. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 12-issue limited series Mr. Miracle, released a few years ago. This limited series won a bunch of awards, and it received also my award for the most promising series that ended in disappointment. This series is kind of like, remember when you were young, maybe you were in your early 20s, used to go out to the bar a lot with your buddies, and you weren't bad looking, but you were kind of shy, you weren't as aggressive. All your buddies would go out, they would meet chicks, they'd go take them back to their home and rooms, get laid, and you wouldn't because you were just, a little shy. Your buddies are starting to bug you, your self-esteem is going down a little bit. But then that one day, you go out to the bar, and there's this chick there. She's smoking hot, and she comes up to you, and you start talking. And not only is she hot, she's really cool. You're looking at your buddies, are kind of jealous. Next thing you know, you're making out. The night the bar closes, the night ends. You're back. Take her back to your place. You're on the couch. You're making out some more. You take your hand, you reach down, you go for that third base, and you grab a penis. And then, you got to spend the rest of the weekend in the shower, scrubbing your body down with a stiff brush. That's kind of what it's like. All right, let's get this book out here, and let's see if we can. Stupid tape. Forget it. So let's talk about Mr. Miracle. Take a look at issue number 1. The art from all the issues look great. Just take a look at some of the other covers, beautiful covers. Let's take a look at just the art in general. Let's get a random page here. Here we go. It looks good. Very much a lot of this is the whole thing. Not the whole thing is not in this. This 9-panel. Uses it a lot, though. A lot of 9-panel pages. Is it all 9 panels? Did I notice that? I don't think it's all 9 panels. Mostly, though. So, let's give a quick overview of the storyline. So the storyline, right off the bat, we have Mr. Miracle attempting to commit suicide. So Mr. Miracle's big deal is that he can escape everything. Can he escape death? So that's the big thing. So the whole storyline starts off. You see a lot of these. So this, like I said, this comic book came out. There was a lot of talk about it. It was interesting. So you notice that there's a lot of this Darksied is in the book. So, and right away, I think best shown on the last page, where they show, well, you can see it in here too. So you might not be able to notice it so much on this page, but there's this isn't very clear. This is quite fuzzy. You can see little bits of fuzz, like a problem with your television. I think the last panel of the first book shows one as well, and maybe you'll see a little better. No. So that fuzziness permeates the various panels throughout all the books. So that leads people to believe that something's wrong. Some things are false in the storyline. People are, right off the bat, people are asking questions. Did Mr. Miracle kill himself? Did he succeed in killing himself? It looks like he tried to kill himself the first page. Is this a dream after he's killed himself? Is it the split second between death and almost dying and dying? Is he trapped in another dimension? Is he under mind control, illusion? Is it some trick by Darksied? What's going on? Right? So that really galvanized people and galvanized myself as well. This was the comic book that brought me back into comics. I was like, wow, this sounds like a really good story. I want to follow that story. I went to the comic book store, started my first ever pull list, and put Mr. Miracle on it. This comic got me into back into comics. Unfortunately, after that, there's I don't think they had 12 issues of material personally. So apparently Tom King, the writer, was with his wife. They were pregnant, having their first kid or something during this, something like that. Because then you get a lot of this. Okay, this isn't much of a typical superhero comic book. So here is Mr. Miracle and his wife. Big Bart is his wife, and she's pregnant, and he's taken her to the hospital. Okay, they're in the hospital. It's all about, the problems of going through the waiting for her to deliver. Right, all this stuff. Okay, so more baby stuff. I get it. Tom King, your wife was having a baby. Write what you know. But, we don't buy... Do we buy superhero comics to hear about babies? Baby. This is like the longest labor ever. Oh, and they finally have the baby. All right. Spoiler alert. Okay, baby. It's great that you have a baby, but, my wife's had a couple kids too. I don't really need to read it in my comic books. Okay, and there's even more. So, at least they had the baby. So this is like this whole issue is him feeding the baby. You can see here's a little bit more of the fuzziness, the warping that they do in order to show that something's wrong. So between him caring for the baby and going into the war that's going on between Genesis and Apocalypse, and him getting his ass kicked and beat up and looking after the baby and going to war and getting beat up. Oh, there's a Batman reference here. War, baby. I get it. It's tough having a baby, You're tired. The kid screams all the time. Though mine didn't. Mine were quiet almost immediately. But do we want to read about that? Like, this is half the book at least. Him, being a dad. Like, I get it. Like, you're happy that you're a dad. But, do we want to read about it? Issue 10. There's more of this stuff. Playing with the kid. We're getting closer to the thing here, but this is, their relationship problems on Earth. There's a war going on between New Genesis and Apocalypse, and they go back to Earth to live there, and so they take turns looking after the kid and stuff like that. Here's the whole. This is my favorite. This is like a whole 2 pages of going to the grocery store and the guy telling him, put your card in the machine, and you should get a rewards membership. Okay, it's like free money. Okay, so this obviously happened to Tom King when he was like tired trying to get some stuff for the kid, and the clerk was giving him crap about how he should go to he should get his a reward card. They're always trying to sell you stuff like that when you're going there. Like, is this really what I want to read in my comic book? What do I know? All right, and so we get to the final episode, the final story. So, what is the final story in this book? What's going on? Like, we got 12 issues of all this stuff. What's happened? Why is the thing Darksied is all over the place? Why are things fuzzy? So in this book, basically all the people who have died during the storyline. Here's Granny Goodness is a good example. All of them come back, and he meets with all of them, and they talk to him. So there's Granny Goodness. I think there's the first guy. I forget the guy's name. He sees the guy that his mentor. Oh, maybe that's later. Okay, what does she say? To escape from me, you little fool. You had a chance. How could you leave your granny? So it's implying he's dead. And we look back and we find out at the end, surprise, surprise, it is exactly what I said, and he did kill himself. So all that, maybe this is a troll, right? The first page of the book he kills himself, and then he tricks us for like 12 issues and gets us to buy this. And then at the end he says, hey, guess what? You were right. He is dead, and he's like, I don't know, dreaming all this stuff. So, Eisner award-winning comic book. The art's nice, covers are great, but kind of left me a little bit disappointed. Thanks for watching my review of the 12-issue limited series Mr. Miracle. Make sure you like and subscribe, and remember, Darksied says, eat your veggies.